Hello, I'm John Leguizamo. This is the actor's commentary for Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Wow. I'll never forget when we made this movie because I made sure to play the video game every day on set. That way I knew exactly what the directors were doing wrong. Now, as you may or may not know, I am the only surviving member of the Super Mario Brothers movie. The other actors perished in the Great Fire of Universal.
Earth was ruled by dinosaurs. They were big, so not a lot of people went around hassling them.
Dan Castellaneta, Homer, doing the opening narration. The opening narration, by the way, I actually offered to do, but Annabelle and Rocky, the directors, there were two of them. They told me they didn't appreciate my tone loud. I can't imagine why. Speaking of things you may or may not know, which you'll find a lot of in this commentary, Lau, I was actually the second choice for Luigi Mario, the first being Nathan Lane. But the directors thought he wasn't flamboyant enough. Now, this here, what we're looking at, this is actually a composite shot of Dennis Hopper's colonoscopy. I remember he just showed up on set one day. He was running around with a tape in his hand. Looky, looky what I got. And then the director said, we can put it in the movie. Why not?
Welcome to Miraculous World, where each week we ask unanswered questions.
Now, for the sake of authenticity, Bob Hoskins insisted on using a real photo there of his great-great-great-great-grandfather, Roberto Hoskins IV. A lot of people don't know he was 1/16 Mexican.
No, don't touch it.
Now, we couldn't afford trailers back then, so Bob and I actually shared this apartment on set. I remember we would wake up every morning at 4:30, and I would floss the gap in between my two front teeth. Then I'd look in the mirror and I'd say, Johnny boy, it's a new day. And then Bob would make me shave all the hair off of his back.
I just found out that he was in another dimension.
The only thing miraculous I know is
We prepared all of our meals there in the tiny kitchenette. As part of Bob Hoskins' contract, he insisted that he had a proper English breakfast every morning, which consisted entirely of beans. Now, I do my own stunts. As you just saw, Bob decided to throw a steel-toed pair of boots at my testicles. That was all improv. And I still have 3 balls left. Speaking of stunts, that really is me driving. I did not have a license at the time, and I said that to the directors, and Anna and Waki looked at me and they said, that's okay, Johnny, we'll just use movie magic. Wow. And I only rolled it twice.
You know, I read that sea turtles navigate thousands of miles on instinct.
not in New York traffic, they don't.
But what are you complaining about? Come on, we're here, aren't we?
You're getting worse.
I'm getting worse.
How did we get into
The directors told me in order to make sure that we had natural sounding dialogue, that we should scream every time we spoke like this.
Scapelli? They beat us to it again. Another
Bob Hoskins was a master of the screaming while you speak technique. It was more of a balk.
They say it's dark.
Don't blow it this time.
Here we have the introduction of Iggy and Spike, who, a lot of people might not know this. Behind the scenes, they were actually lovers. Wow.
Koopa's gonna kill us if we blow it again. Let's get her.
Luigi, I told you to check the radio. Take it easy, will you?
Relax, it's been making that sound all week.
Oh, come on, Luigi. You didn't tell me.
Another masterclass in the scream talk technique. As you can see, Bob Hoskins would just let out a primal and then I would respond with a and then he would come back and go and then it would gently cascade downwards into a dynamic crescendo of normal speaking volume. Inside voices, if you will. Wow. Now, I had recommended that we add cartoon sound effects for the antics, but the directors felt that the vaudeville comedy would appeal to a younger audience now. Samantha Mathis. I tried to date her while on set. She didn't say yes, but she didn't exactly say no either. So, I would follow her around and sniff the warm spot on a chair after she got up. Boyish antics like that.
Thank you.
Now, contrary to popular belief, that actually was real tap water.
Security down here. I don't care.
They actually made us all drink out of the same water bottle that we had to go fill up at the spigot. I wasn't allowed to drink straight from the spigot. After all, the spigot is where we connected the movie hose. Bob Hoskins had it in his contract that he would be hosed down after every scene. Wow. He was a very sweaty man.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Wow, boy, this scene's still going, isn't it?
I've got a few problems, but
We got a van.
So, this downtown scene was actually done in Wilmington, North Carolina. Now, a lot of people might not realize this, but down there, they don't actually have cars in Wilmington, North Carolina. They have horses and buggies. We had to import the cars from Jersey. Now, what we didn't realize about the people of Wilmington, North Carolina, is that the simple townsfolk had never seen automobiles before. They kept referring to them as horseless carriages, and then they would run away screaming. I'll never forget that night. That night they came back with torches and pitchforks. The entire crew and all the actors and the directors, we all hid inside of the tiny apartment dinette. Meanwhile, outside, we could hear the townsfolk. The townsfolk were chanting, "Hey, hey, ho, ho, these horseless carriages, they got to go," over and over and over again. Eventually, the sheriff showed up and convinced them that it wasn't actually evil spirits. It was just a bunch of people from up north making a movie.
oh, why, thank you, sir. Well, thank you for the ride.
It's a pleasure to meet me. It's a pleasure to meet you. Do you eat?
The line "dinner" was actually improvised by Bob because he was thinking of food at the time.
Oh,
Wow, and then we just wrote the rest of the movie around it.
great. Bye.
Bye.
How would you do without your big brother, huh?
I'd like to give it a shot and find out. I was just about to ask her that.
Well, gentle viewer, we've reached the end of my little commentary. I may or may not do more. Who knows? Stay tuned for part 2. Maybe it'll come. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I'm like Santa Claus.